Okay.
1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back.
We're here for the post-draft show, 2017 draft. There is so many storylines.
Wowee.
Unbelievable. We have so much to talk about. We're going to try to get in as fast as possible.
Yeah, there's always storylines when we do the shows, but this time, standout storylines that we don't even have to talk about. Like, it's everybody's talking about it already.
Listen, we posted the draft online. Everyone could see where everyone went.
That's right. Something
design.
we don't usually do, but
either way, listen, there were some head-scratching picks. There were some unbelievable value picks late.
Yeah, some steals of the draft that people did their homework on.
And people were, killing themselves that they didn't take.
Right.
I think let's just get into it. We'll go from one team at a time.
Let's go from the first pick of the whole draft on.
Right, so first pick of the draft, Natan Safdie. He took somebody, this is the highest he ever went. We have Jojo Soria.
Now, some people will say, oh, why'd you take him so early? Natan plays a Gold Glove center field.
Right.
They don't want to deal with Michael Cohen, who doesn't want to move.
Right, and also we know Michael where he wants to play.
Right, that's true too.
Listen, if you want a guy that wants to play for you at number 1, if the talent's right there, neck and neck, go with your guy.
Right.
And if you watched the World Series highlights last year, listen, Jojo Soria probably was arguably the World Series MVP.
Would it shock you if Jojo won MVP of the season? Not at all.
Absolutely,
so
I wouldn't be shocked.
That's what makes it not a bad pick.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. So listen, it is what it is. Jojo Soria, number 1 pick overall. Not a head scratcher. I thought it was actually a pretty solid pick.
Well, they're starting with shortstop, center field.
Right, unbelievable. So either way,
let's go through the rest of that team.
Right, let's go. Listen, there was some really picks that probably should not have been picked on this team that early. And
they had Bobby Safdie locked in as a 3rd-round pick. Bobby's a great player.
Yeah.
In that round, I would say he's equivalent.
Obviously, Natan number 2.
Right.
Bobby at number 3.
Natan at number 2 worked out great for him.
Right.
Bobby 3. Then they took, I like the next 2 picks, Avi Dweck. As we know, he's a Night Stalker.
Right.
I don't recall his numbers last year or not now. Avi is could play multiple positions.
Right, listen, you could put him in a few different outfield and infield positions.
He's playing 3rd base in the Brooklyn League this year.
Right.
Could play 2nd, could play short center.
And you even could put him at short center, you could put him in right field.
Play first base.
Right.
So he's
he's a line drive type of hitter. And then a guy that solidifies, he's always the glue guy in every team that he's on is DT.
Wow.
So
another guy who could play anywhere, but if you put him at 2nd base, he's probably the best defensive 2nd baseman, I think, in the whole community.
So listen, I'm watching him in Brooklyn right now. He's actually playing the outfield and he's playing it lights out.
He does everything.
Put him anywhere, he's going to get the job done.
The question was not that the next 2 players weren't good picks.
No, next 2 players are picks that Natan wanted on his team, and you know what? They should be on his team. But I think if you look at prior drafts,
could he have gotten him later?
They could have got him later. Both.
Okay.
So now, right away, Sammy Estes was drafted number 42.
Another glue guy, another character guy, another captain material type guy.
And that's why they took him. But you know what? I know for a fact they could have got Sammy Estes on the next go-round at number 56.
I guess he thinks maybe not. Listen, something we'll never know.
I spoke to all the other captains, during the draft and after the draft, and they all were scratching their heads. You never know if they take him.
We'll bring up something that was the ongoing theme of this draft. He also chose, like everybody else at this point, not to take the best pitcher that he felt was on the board.
Right, and there were multiple pitchers
we had available. The only 2 pitchers taken were Ralph Hannon, who carries a tremendous bat, and A.B. Saka,
who's the ace of the league
right now. Going into the league, you got to call him the ace.
Right.
They had Eddie Nissim, Max Yadid,
Tuna,
even Mark Cohen,
David Fallis, who's a rookie,
and Freddie Hittery, who they ended up with. Now, he could have went
World Series MVP Freddie Hittery.
Correct. Okay. Now, he could have ended up going with Mark Cohen, who was his pitcher last year, and at times could be unhittable.
Listen, we know in Brooklyn that's his jam, and he's lights out over there.
Right.
But either way, he had an array of pitchers to select from. He chose not to. His 2 picks were Sammy Estes and
Yosef Safdie.
Yosef, his brother, which again I think was overdrafted in this spot.
Maybe, maybe not. Again, some people say I may have taken him. We never know what they're going to say. But there was one player. We'll get to him later.
Right.
And to finish off his draft, one thing about this draft that we loved is it's a deep draft.
This is one of the deepest drafts we had in many, many years. So
they did end up getting Freddie Hittery.
Got Freddie in the next round, but you know what? Every other team had a pitcher. Some of them had 2. One team had 2 pitchers. No one was taking Freddie over here. Of course, Freddie belongs on this team. Of course, Freddie's going to get the job done and get them to the playoffs, I think, maybe not. But you know what? You didn't have to take him there. There was so many other players on the board.
That's another question. Now, a save pick, I believe, that could help their defense tremendously was Victor Abadi.
Right, Victor Abadi was taken. He locks down a good left field
left
defense.
or right. So now having Bobby, Natan, and Victor out there, whichever way they're going to figure it out.
They're okay in the outfield.
Yeah, they're Their outfield now. They have Yosef that could play outfield too, but I think Victor has Gold Glove in him.
Listen, pound for pound, if you look at every position, everyone's happy to be on the team.
That's great.
And
a lot of great character.
I think it's the #1 character team in the league.
It looks like a lot of good camaraderie on the team.
But
a lot of good friends.
I'm going to say it first things first. Character doesn't always get to the playoffs.
Okay,
talent gets to the playoffs.
So the question is, do they have enough bats?
Do they have enough overall bats?
Their front four is tremendous. Benny Rishti is going to have to step it up.
And you know what? Benny Rishti did lead the league in RBIs last year.
He's going to have to step it up another level to be a big hitter. And Moshe Azachu, they took to play first base.
And then to round it out, A.B. Surya was their catcher.
Who could swing the bat as well.
Right. So their team, if you ask me, we'll get to who's not going to make the playoffs, who's going to make the playoffs towards the end of the thing. Right now, they're, to me, on the outside looking in, but we'll see.
Okay, they're on the fringe. You're saying fringe guy. But I like the character. It looks like they're going to have a great time.
Right.
Their back end of the lineup's going to have to step it up for them to do something. I think their defense is good enough, and Freddie Hittery doesn't walk players.
Right.
On to the next.
By the way, FYI, there's a lot of trade talks. Freddie Hittery might not be their starting pitcher after today.
Let's find out.
See. Either way, next team we're going to talk about is probably the most brash, solid bat hitting. Do they have enough defense?
Big lineup.
Big lineup, big egos, big mouths. That's BBB right there. Listen, they obviously have a bunch of veterans on this team that's been there, done that. People that lead the career leaders in this league on RBIs, home runs, slugging, hitting.
Career, like the last 10 years worth.
We're talking about Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore, M&S stat lines. I think they have almost all.
The first three picks, Ali Marshall, Jimmy Malach,
and then Saban.
Right,
That's the first three on the team, and those all three are, they always travel everywhere together. They drive in together.
That's another thing. They're a unit, which is fun.
They go shopping together. They do all that stuff together.
A little everything.
And then after that, I think we don't have to speak about those guys. Ali is freaking Hall of Fame. Saban is money man. Jimmy is one of the best hitters in the league. Then, instead of going after the best defender on the board,
they went after a guy they think could be the best hitter.
They think he is the fourth official wheel that will complete this car.
Hank
Dweck, who's always a veteran Balbino, always on Michael Solomon's team, always on that Michael Cohen team. He's, I think, a little bit of a fish out of water here.
Right now, it's funny.
With his boys.
People have to realize, and we say it all the time, it's a draft.
Right. You're not always going to end up with your friends.
There's no lockup. I'm a friend. This is a draft, and that's what M&S is about. It's not BYOB.
Right.
But Hank Dweck, they believe they could train him because at the end of the year, maybe he got a little bit fly ball happy.
Right, but I think with the tutelage of Jimmy and Ali and Michael Saban,
a savior pick for this team.
Well, it was the next pick right there.
Yeah. The savior pick for this team.
I don't know, a lot of guys, he goes under a lot of people's radars because he was playing on that BYOB team last year, for the last 2 years actually, and he either plays center field, left field. We're talking about Albert River Dweck. It's Ocean's younger brother.
I think it's a savior pick now. We know Ali could play shortstop or center.
I think Ali's going to end up at short
Ali,
because of this
said it before the draft even, before the way he saw the board. He said he wants to play short. He wants to control the field. He wants to make sure, no funny business
Without this pick, he wouldn't have been able to do it. Albert River is he's a strong center fielder, good leadoff guy, good character guy, by the way, brings balance to that, volatile lineup right there.
To round up the team, Eddie Nissim.
Wait, we skipped Little Zolta.
Oh, that's right.
Little Zolta also carries a big stick. They kept on going offense, and then Eddie Nissim was a shocking pick. They took Eddie Nissim ahead of Max Yedid.
What? Ahead of Tuna. Ahead of Max Yedid. So ahead of Mark Cohen.
Well, so I'm going to say it right now. Last year, Ali and Saban played with Max Yedid and the Tigers. They didn't go anywhere.
So they just didn't want to do it anymore?
They felt the vibes weren't going to carry over. Max is coming off an injury as well.
I believe he pitched 2 games today and was still a month away from opening day. So he'll be fine.
I think it was a little bit of an eye-opening, head-scratching pick.
I don't know if Max was too happy about it either at the time. Little shocked that he went so
listen,
long.
I have some choice texts from Max, which I am not granted permission to read on air.
Okay, now, next two picks, again, are offensive picks.
Right, Jake Sasson.
Who carries a big bat as well. Deadpool power hitter.
And the next guy was the first catcher taken, and usually these types of kids as catcher do get drafted earlier, is Jack Beebe.
Again, Beebe. He's friendly with Eddie Nissim too.
He's the battery mate with Eddie Nissim always, and he's also one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet, and he could hit. This kid really could hit.
So they really went a lot of bats early in this draft. I mean, throughout the whole that you will keep seeing. Another good thing about this team, and I was talking to some guys on it. River, Aldweck, Zolta, and Eddie Nissim, very tight friends together.
Right, they all were teammates with that team last year, the Brewers.
Now, Jackie Ashkenazi, to bring him up, who was a coach in varsity for Hillel for the last couple of years, called the next pick one of the steals. Zach Casson.
Yeah, Zach Morris Casson.
He got tall. Zach Morris. He got tall, he got wide, and he claims he could play a solid shortstop. I don't know if he's going to see shortstop, unless maybe he ends up out there because Allie goes to the outfield.
We'll see. Listen, they have these last few picks, I think, saved the team and made it more of a complete roster.
Rounded team.
So now Zach Casson and then Mordechai Grazi.
Listen, I hear is throwing the ball nice.
A lot of people are, have a different opinion about him. I just watched him hit this morning on the 28th. Just watched him hit myself, smoke 3 balls on the left field line against a pretty good pitcher. And listen, I think he also could open a few eyes and surprise a few people.
And of course, defensively rounding up the team, they got Jimmy Kassab.
Jimmy Kassab, who's he's what you want in a catcher.
Great rah-rah guy, and he could hit. He could hit the ball hard. They don't have any easy outs in this lineup. Now, why I think the Zach Casson was a stolen pick was important. Taking Jimmy Malach where he went is where he usually goes.
Correct.
But he doesn't carry a high defensive position on the field. He could play defensive well.
So you think the Zach Casson pick actually boosted Jimmy Malach pick in the second round?
Correct.
Okay,
exactly. Because Jimmy's offense is big. Now, if there's a question mark on this team, it's their outfield defense.
Right.
River in center field.
I think Rivers fine. The question is Zolta going to be playing right field
or left?
Or left? Who's their outfield?
And then their other outfielder would be Hank Dweck.
Right. So
who's not such fleet of foot.
No. So Hank Dweck's been playing right field, and I think that's where he belongs. So you're going to put Albert Zolta in left field now?
Okay, right field in this league, for some reason,
they get more plays than left.
They get more plays than left, and it becomes the black hole down the line.
You have a lot of professional hitters that just go the other way.
Yeah, they know how. And the pitching's good. They go the right field.
I think their team is good. I think their team isn't great, but it's very good.
I think defensively, it could be if Zach Casson steps up defensively, maybe Allie ends up in center field.
I also think, I know Eddie Nissim is putting on a display in the Brooklyn League right now.
Really?
Both offense and defense, by the way.
I don't know if he's going to see many at-bats in the lineup.
He probably not now with this lineup, but let me just say, he is dealing, he's pitching really well. I think they're going to need him big time.
That's a big thing because, again, if your defense betrays you, it's very hard to pitch. Now, the guys with strong character could do it, but let's find out.
Right.
Another team will see.
Next team is, again, Michael Melech Solomon, returning World Series losing captain.
Are we supposed to say boring now?
No, the Bills wide right. Listen, there's so many jokes. They just can't. They get to the end. They always get to the finish line, and they just fall flat on their face.
Now, let's jump right in. They got a lot of early great offensive bats.
Michael Cohen, last year's MVP.
Right. He didn't wake up in the finals. We know he was hungover.
Whatever it may be. But he didn't show up. Airmailed a few balls. Just his bat wasn't there. Solely Cohen, also, I think, one of the best hitters ever.
He actually hit well in the World Series. And now, defensively, year after year in left field, he's adequate. But year after year, his legs are getting older and older. Is he the same left fielder that he could be?
Well, he used to be called Soul Jenny Craig Cohen. So listen, the next 2 picks is the one thing that they could rely upon that's saying we're not last year's team.
Right.
Their next year's team, they just inserted a real bopper into the lineup with this pick.
A bona fide,
it's a 4-hitter.
Yeah, 4-hitter or 3-hitter.
Albert Gamal. Welcome back, Albert. We're very excited to have you back in the league.
He hasn't been in the league in like 3 or 4 years.
He was on the Chocolate Thunder team with Nemi Katz. He was on the same team actually.
It was actually with Morris Shama, but it's all right.
Which team was that?
Yeah, he was with Morris Shama on, I think they go to the Yankees.
Oh, Yankees. But you're right.
Now, Albert was slotted with Isaac Gamal, his brother, who's also a very nifty glove and a good line drive hitter. I've played with him. He's a guy who can make this team strong.
Right. Then they went back with the basics after those 2 picks.
Yeah.
They went Jackie Cohen at short. As we know, he had his struggles in the postseason last year.
Gold glove during the season.
And then postseason struggles.
Postseason, he had some struggles. World Series.
And then we have Melech slotted over there. And then he went with the same pitcher.
Back to the fish.
That he just obsessed with fish. Yeah. Tuna got him there back-to-back years. Tuna fell flat back-to-back years. We know Tuna does have a championship, but he did have a championship under Norwood. No one else.
Now, Tuna is pitching great all season. Sunday morning pitching great. In the finals, for some reason, I don't know if it's the defense letting him down
or maybe he's got to
change a little jelly-legged. I don't know.
He's got to change his game plan. Who knows? Either way, the next two picks were two rookies, but they can be two big difference makers.
If this team does something, it's because of this next guy.
Right. So Shlomo Safdie, who
we almost didn't put him in this league.
Going into the draft, listen, I didn't know much about him. Then I find out he's tearing up other leagues
again today
with another few RBI doubles, and he plays a lockdown left field. He's a lefty, fleet of foot, unbelievable character guy.
Real outfielder.
I think this team, he's too quiet for this team.
So you think he may not mesh with them?
He may not mesh. Who knows? But the talent is there. Yeah. And then after that is Isaac Bill Mizrahi. He's actually
your brother-in-law?
My brother-in-law. Isaac's got more skill than probably anyone in the rookie crop.
He's a crazy athlete.
He's dripping with skill, but is softball his thing?
Right.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
He's an athlete.
I've seen athletes fall flat in softball, and we've seen some of them, like Jamie Dweck, just come out out of nowhere.
He's a really good basketball player. He's probably even a better football player.
Right.
If he's even half of what he is on the gridiron, then you know what? Maybe they have themselves a steal over here.
Nemi Katz, next pick, slot in the 10th round.
Nemi Katz slotted over here in the 10th, and listen,
I'm not sure.
I think they didn't have to slot him. I think they could have got him afterwards. You could call me crazy. It's a one-dimensional game. He doesn't run, doesn't play defense for them.
He carries a big bat.
He's an automatic base runner waiting to happen, but he always does perform at the plate.
He gets the hits.
I think Mike Mellett was happy with him slotted because he was just comfortable saying, I have my six-hitter guaranteed slotted there, even if I have everything else.
I'm not sure if he's going to make every game because he has a lot of parties.
Right.
Another question. So
Also, Mabruk, the baby just came.
Beautiful.
So
that's right.
Great news. And then the last two picks, he has Box, who's always on his team. Which, listen, Box is Box. Sometimes he comes and he hits a few doubles, and sometimes he strikes out.
Right. Sometimes he hits 5 straight ground balls.
Right. So Box is unpredictable, and then Victor Schrempf around the team. Victor's always on their team.
Right. Now Victor could end up being an outfielder
and
if
Victor
they need in the pinch.
Victor could end up being traded also because there's playing time that needs to be going around for everybody.
Let's see. Now on to the next. We'll see what we call on this team. They have a couple of secret picks we saw. The next Gamal and Safdie, but let's see what we call them.
And also Gamal's brother. Next team is probably they're going to be the biggest wait and see type of team in the league.
We can say what we want, but at the end of the day, there's a whole lot of rookies.
Right. So this team, captained by rookie captain Shimmy Cohen, in the league for the last 4 or 5 years.
He knows the league.
He knows everyone. He knows the skit. We trust him. That's why he's captain.
That's big now because taking outsiders like he did, we're going to get into, means he has to know the talent they carry and he has to know what goes on in M&S baseball.
So first things first, with the first pick, he actually traded his first pick, right? And then he ended up getting A.B. Saka, who's welcome back to the league.
Welcome back. He hasn't played in a long time. A.B. is flat out one word.
He's an ace.
When it comes to
winner
baseball,
also.
That's right. When it comes to softball,
he's a
on
winner.
The field, A.B. is a winner.
A.B.'s going to get you to listen. I think he's an automatic ticket to the playoffs.
I've seen him take teams in other leagues that had no business.
Fountain of Youths.
And just going to the World Series. Maybe not going all the way. And we've seen him win the World Series with teams that people don't think should have won.
Right.
A.B. is a bulldog on the mound. He's a competitor.
I know a lot of teams are trying to trade for him, but I know it's going to be very tough to get him.
If A.B. is 1-5, I would never count a team like that.
You don't count it. He's like the rattlesnake.
He
then
goes crazy.
Number 18, Shimmy Cohen takes himself, and then here's where the fun begins.
Oh boy!
So now there's a bunch of names, a lot of outsiders. They played in the South Atlantic League. They played in the Asbury Park League.
A couple of
hockey
leagues.
The hockey leagues. A lot of talent that was there, and the big gripe that other people had was these guys are such unknowns. You probably could have got them even later. But Shimmy said, "I want to guarantee to get my boys."
He wants his guys,
he knows their talent.
And he said, "I believe he was the most talented guy on the board."
So
and
the
first guy I played with
is Nachman Jakubowicz.
Yeah, I think he goes Jakubowicz. We could say Jakubowicz. You could say Nachman Jak.
Right. So Nachman Jakubowicz plays shortstop, right?
Yeah. Now, shortstop is a position this season where guys overdrafted players to get the shortstop position locked up. Now, that's one of the reasons I guess Shimmy took Nachman, knows he could hold down shortstop. I played with him in a tournament where he played an amazing third. He's a big guy.
And he's not young.
No, he's 35
he's in his
years
30s,
old.
So listen, that means something. And then we have, after that, Chaim Schoen, we talked about on the rookie report.
Yeah.
Schoen, I would be happy if he ends up being a Billy Miz type.
Okay, let's see.
I'll be happy if he ends up being that. You never know. We'll
he
see.
has a power bat. The question when you hear about power bat in these leagues is it going to be a bunch of high fly
and
balls?
does it translate? Right.
Does it translate?
And then they take Jakubovich's younger brother.
Nussi Jakubovic could play infield or outfield.
And that was a high pick also.
Yeah. Now, next guy was a shortstop in this league.
Right, and
years.
he also was a former batting champion.
Yeah.
We know he's a line drive hitter. Actually, our cousin, A.B. Franco.
Great musician as well.
Right. You should check him out on his next gig. I think he's traveling on his tour towards the end of the summer.
Beautiful.
Check him out.
So ABJ Franco, I think he's going to be playing short center field.
Short center or second.
Great hands.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a strong arm, but now that he's playing second base or short center, I think it makes him an A+ defender.
And then we have Butchie Cohen actually taking his brother, who I think he's going to put at third base.
Third or second as well.
Right, but I think he ends up at third. And then we have Isaac Oceanduek, who's also could be super utility, could be in right,
That's
could
a great
be first.
thing about it. If a guy's missing, he could play literally anywhere, from first, second, outfield.
And then he did something smart. He took another one of those guys with Eli Harari,
who's been playing great Sunday morning.
Unbelievable YMSL playing rookie year. He could play second. He could play the outfield. He's actually a line drive good hitter. And then his teammate in the YMSL, also Louis Patesh,
who's going to hold down A.B. Saka.
Right, and who he's just so happy and glad to catch A.B. Saka.
Yeah, that's great. To have A.B. wants to throw to Lou, and Lou is happy to catch A.B. That's a great battery situation right
And then
there.
we have last year's world champion Ralph Chira, who also comes up with big hits and big situations.
Fast as can be.
And he's also one of the best teammates you'll ever get.
Yeah, he can play outfield
And to round up his team is Halfon Hal Safdie.
He's a big rookie.
Who talks a big game. Listen, prove me wrong, because I'm not... You think you're going to do well? I hope you do well.
We're not sold.
I'm not sold yet. Sorry, Hal.
We're really not sold, Hal.
Sorry, Hal.
Anyway, mean, whatever. It is what it is.
We're going to get to the Bill Belichick team, the Patriots.
Now, this is a team, this is a captain that, the way we look at it, we don't care who he picks.
I don't care if he picks nobody.
We don't care. Somehow, some way.
He's in the World Series.
He just finds his way into the dance.
And he won back-to-back World Series championships.
Yeah.
You could argue both times he shouldn't have won. Winner, and then last year on the Angels.
The years before that, he's won, and he made it to the World Series. There were squads that were phenomenal. There were squads that I look at it, I scratch my head a little bit, but then it all makes sense.
Well, think about it. He took with his first pick Jackie Towell.
That's a no-brainer.
That's automatically the best center fielder, arguably. Michael Cohen's there. But listen, Jackie Towell's right there neck and neck with the best center fielder in the community.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
So JT, JT's really excited about the league. He's excited to be back. I know.
Forward. Happy to have him.
He's all in. I'm all in. I'm Jackie. I love it. After that this is a really highly drafted pick over here.
This means he didn't trust the other shortstops in this league. Simple as that.
Listen, he's a comfort factor with this kid is Joey Cohen.
Now, Joey Cohen drafted very early, 10th pick overall. Now, he, I believe, is a Gold Glove defensive shortstop and a very strong hitter.
And he has the moxie also.
Yes, he's a winner. He's got that.
Is he the 10th overall pick? I don't think so.
I don't know. Could he have even got him on the way back? I don't know. Noah was slotted. So
with number 24, probably not.
He solidified himself getting him. But he did take, again, it just shows you he had no trust in the other shortstops. And let's see if that hurts him as we go.
All right, then the Norwood slotted over there at 19. They argued, should he not? I think he belongs there.
He's a winner.
Listen, and then number 24, he went back to the well of the last year's championship squad.
Another winner in this
Ike
league.
Mavora, one of the best hitters you'll see over his career.
Yeah.
And then he also went with another unbelievable veteran, also winning type player in Ike Chaz and all Chaz.
Probably play right field.
Right, and then he went again to another Angel in Berry.
So I gotta say about Berry, you could say what you want. He gets big hits.
So if you look at it, he's got Norwood, he's got Mavora, he's got Chaz, and Berry.
Now, here's where it gets very interesting. You could say maybe the team is lacking that one big bat from last year. JoJo Soroya is not there. I'm gonna skip a few picks. Getting Morris Michael.
At number 66.
Again, this is a very late round pick to say a 10th round pick that could save a team.
So this guy, listen, I know him very well. We spoke about him on the draft report. And you know what? I just watched a few videotapes of him actually swinging in the cages.
We're going to try to get that posted for everybody to see.
This guy could really mesh.
Yeah.
So he might be their savior. You're right.
Now, does he play a position? I don't know. But his bat could be the makeup. I can't believe I'm saying it as a 10th
Let's back it up a bit. He actually drafted at number 47 and 52 back-to-back pitchers.
Correct.
He took Mark Cohen and David Fallis.
Now, Mark Cohen, Freddie Hittery. Again, he was great last year.
He was his World Series MVP.
Freddie Hittery was more. pitching to contact.
And Freddie Hurry also requires hitting, as
Right,
he always
he wants
gripes.
to get
But
hits.
even though in this league the lineups are deep, you have to understand you can't always
You
get
might not get at bats,
Right.
especially when the 11th and 12th round
are guys like Mo Mike. Come
Right,
on.
guy that can hit.
So either way, so I could see where Isaac Norwood didn't want to get involved with that, but he took
No.
back-to-back pitchers and
He
maybe a
took
trade on the horizon.
Mark Cohen could be unhittable.
He also
at
could
days.
be. Listen, you can't hit him because he's walking the guy. So
That's the question. But he did pick David Fallis, who carries a bat. So
I
you know
sat
what?
with David Fallis in shul yesterday in Brooklyn, and he's excited. He says, wherever you put me, I'm happy.
Yeah, he's an athlete. He's not just a pitcher.
Right. He's
got wheels.
He's just like the Ralph Hannon mold. He's a pitcher that hits also.
That hits. He goes to right center field hard. He's got a lot of speed. He could be a runner.
And then
he could play first base.
And then you
He's
have
a player.
with JT, you have Simhon, who we know locks down an infield position. Also
Play short center field.
Right, also a pretty good line drive hitter. And then we spoke about Mo Mike. And then right here is a really interesting player,
Yeah.
the S-Man.
Now he got him.
He stole him.
He stole him because another team drafted him, and he had to make a trade because guys wanted to play with their
S-Man was
buddies.
actually drafted by the Buffalo Bills, Mike Melech Solomon.
Right.
And then smartly, Bill Belichick drafted his best friend Box.
So
He goes,
they had to make the trade.
Because you want Box back, give me S-Man. Held him hostage, held him over
Now,
the barrel.
Steven Asul and S-Man last year did not have his best hitting season.
Right.
I've seen him tear the cover off the ball. Last year he did not have his best season.
We're talking at number 75 here,
Exactly.
so he's going to bring to a team. He might bring a team over the top.
He brings rah-rah, and if he does bring what Steven could do, again, a crazy pick in the 11th round, and then he took
Ezra Kassan.
very, very older rookie, a 40-year-old rookie,
Right.
Ezra Kassan, who's been dying to get into this league.
Coming out of the Japan League, he's been playing there for his career.
I hear he can swing. He's an athletic guy. He's a full cross-country bike rider.
Right, no, the guy's in shape. We know
yeah,
that.
I hear he rides motorcycles with Evel Knievel.
Wow.
In his day, he really does some crazy stuff. So he's a guy, and he's a catcher. So maybe he's willing. Maybe don't slide into him.
Right, so there we go. So then there's two more teams left. The next team, I know Stephen Gindy, also welcome back to the league.
Yes.
He ended up with his boy Joseph Ferrati at number 9.
This is a very nice, complete team, I'll say. I like
So
the way it's
I'm
built.
looking at this team top to bottom. They are relying on a few guys, which, we have to hope they come through. We'll talk about them in a few.
So Stephen Gindy at short, probably, I would say, pound for pound, the best hitter in the league.
Right.
To get on base in a big spot, nobody sprays the ball around the field better.
I think defense, he's better without the gold ball.
Right.
And defense, he's better with the bases a little back. A little closer, whatever it is. But I think he's a really good Gold Glove defender.
He is. Still a Gold Glover.
He's still, no matter how you slice it, and he's, I think, probably the best hitter in the league.
And he's got a great arm.
He's the Wade Boggs of the league. He'll foul off 15 pitches in a row and hit a double down the right field
Such
line.
an annoying at bat.
Unbelievable.
Joseph Ferrati's Gold Glove in center.
Listen, Joseph Ferrati hasn't been hitting in our league.
It's for some reason, maybe the night didn't translate there. Now he's gold in center field.
Right, no,
he's valued his defense.
He locks
crazy.
down center field defense, unbelievable.
If his bat could come along,
they need him. They need his
do
bat.
need him. That's big. Now Salim at third base in the night league always gets on base.
Right.
And probably the most steady Eddie defensive third baseman in the league.
Right.
Again, Ralph Hannon.
Ralph Hannon over here. You know what? I think it was a great pick over here.
They took him not just for his pitching.
If you look about it, he has a shortstop, he had a center fielder, he had a third baseman. He goes, give me my pitcher right now.
Give me a pitcher. Give me my pitcher who could tear the cover off the ball.
Right.
And he is hitting the ball so hard in the other leagues right now that he's a bona fide 4-hitter.
Now, I'm a big fan of the pick. And now next pick is a rookie. He was the first, I think, one of the first drafted rookies out of that crop.
Right. Aside
I'm
from
not talking about the shimmy Cohen.
Right.
This is Soli Torgerman. Listen, Soli Torgerman, El Caballo, by the way, he's just one of those guys who was built for softball.
He's got a great build. He's strong. He wants third base. No, he ain't going to see third base.
He called me up saying, listen, I thought I was playing third in your league. And I said, listen,
it's a draft.
Your third baseman is Salim Levy. Shut your mouth.
That's it.
So he's going to be playing second base. And they
or short center.
He's either going to be the best short center or second baseman in the league. And he could hit the crap out of the ball.
So now I think his at bat, if he has rookie slump situation, it could be a problem. But if he hits like we think he could hit, that could take this team over the top.
It's funny, we said before the guy that saved the Saban team was River. I think the guy that saved this team right now was the next pick, Yossi Abramson. Yossi Abramson really plays a strong left field.
And this team could have been stuck with a very light defensive team. They ended up getting 2 more great defensive players.
They ended up getting Loudon, and they got Joey Levy, who they put out there. They ended up getting Ruby Saka. But I'm saying at this point in the draft, they got themselves an outfielder.
If you don't want to panic, right now, this guy carries a bat. He's a rookie as well. He's built very strong.
Right.
He's a good right or left fielder.
I always say rookies that usually play their defense. Hitting is usually where they struggle.
Right. We got to see if they. And if anything, it takes them a week or two to find their.
Right, and the next few picks, David Shrem last year was neck and neck for the batting title. Don't forget that. He lost it on the last at-bat of the year by Michael Cohen.
Now, even if he doesn't hit, David's there for the glue.
Right.
He could play third.
Another glue guy.
But he's probably a great first baseman.
And then another fellow Brooklyn guy, which they were really comfortable with, is Barry Anteby, who probably with this crew over here is probably going to perform better than he would have with other teams.
He'll feel comfortable. I heard Sunday morning he's not tearing the ball as hard as usual, but like you said, with this crew,
I think it's a mix, the right mix.
I've seen Barry hit the ball in this night league hard.
And then Stephen Gindy's a fellow employee in the office who is actually playing a great defense, as Ruby Sacco is taking next.
Very fast runner, not a big bat, but again, he could play anywhere. Infield, outfield, lot of versatility.
Sam Loudon takes the next pick, and he just locks down right field for you every year, no matter what.
You could say what you want in other leagues. When you put Sam Loudon in our field,
for some reason, whatever it is, he turns it on, he becomes gold.
Unbelievable right fielder defensively.
And the next two picks to round out their team, Bernie Pindek, who is a strong hitting first baseman. I hope he gets the time he deserves. The guy could really hit.
He deserves at-bats.
I'll tell you one thing, this guy could play. He was taken late because no one knows him.
In the home run derby last year, we know home runs
He went
don't
to
do
the second to last round.
Yes, he hits the ball very far and hard. If he hits right, if he learns how to get on the ball and hit line drives, he could be a steal.
And then to round out their team, Joey Levy, who I think might catch for them.
I think he's going to catch, and he's a great glue guy for a team.
I love Joey.
He brings teams together when teams are down and out. He's the guy that puts them together.
Last year he couldn't play. He was in Tijuana on break, but either way, welcome back, Joe, and we're happy to have you back.
Last time he played, he was with a Natan team, I believe, and he brought the team together a lot. He was a glue to the team.
To round out the draft, the last team we're going to be talking about are the Chicago Blackhawks.
Very interesting team.
So we have so much talent here, but there's one glaring question mark. The number one was Joe Chira. Welcome. Joe Chira was so happy to have you. Joe Chira, bona fide, usually center fielder, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get there. Billy Miz,
all of a sudden, we thought at the time that Greenberg, with himself being slotted at number 8, and he made a trade with Shimmy Cohen, was taking his outfield and making himself the best outfield in the league.
At this point,
Joe Chira, Billy Miz, and Joe Greenberg.
Himself.
So, but then right away, they took a little bit of a left turn, and they said, you know what? No, we're going to be putting Joe Chira, who advanced scouts say could play shortstop. And I trust Joe Chira.
He wants to play shortstop. He's got a great arm. He's got range, that's for sure.
So, listen, I trust Joe. Joe's not going to sabotage his team. He wants to win.
Could he pick up the ground balls?
I think he could.
Spots?
We'll talk about it. But Joe Chira, I have full confidence in anything Joe does. He's one of those type of players.
He's an athlete.
So, look at their team to start. Joe Chira, Billy Miz, and Greenberg. It's
all speed.
Right, and look at that. They have number 4, number 7, and number 8 overall. If you look at the draft after the trade that he made. He made a great trade. And then he took a guy, welcome back, former captain of the league, one of my good friends, Morris Cass and Mo Cass.
Big power stick he carries.
So we know Mo Cass, big boy, locks down third base, hits the ball a ton.
Now, again, if these first 3 guys do good in their lineup, Mo Casson just could get a lot of RBIs, just jacking the ball far.
You're saying good. I'm saying I actually, my prediction that Mo Cass will actually lead the league in RBIs based on where he is in the lineup, based on his
just because of the speed and these guys.
Billy Miz on base percentage always at 500. Joe Chira's speed always on base, and Greenberg is a great hitter. So there you go. So then after that, I know Joe Greenberg is a big fan of Mo Haber. He loves himself some Mo Haber. He takes Mo Haber over there.
And great mouth for the locker room.
Yeah, and they need him. They needed a veteran. They needed a veteran. And then he sunk like a stone the next pick. And I think it was the biggest thing that happened for the league, because having Max Yedid go at number 46 overall, which
unbelievable.
Let's say that again. Max Yedid, number 46 overall.
Second to last pitcher taken.
You can't make it up. Well, that's going to make them, I think, put them over the top. Max Yedid, I think, brings that team to the next level.
He's getting healthier and healthier as the days go by. I mean, days, not weeks.
I know Max. I actually share a physical therapist with him. He's there every day. I'm there. I'm watching him. He looks great.
He's working hard, man.
So
now, a steal, I'm fast-forwarding a few because it was 2 lockdown picks. Another pick that I think could actually save this team, and I can't believe I'm saying this at 67. Save the team. Talking to a few guys that I play with today, said they play with this kid in the park. Jacob Ayal.
So Ayal was actually, he played for Jackie Ashkenazi, Eshko, and Hillel.
And he played in Brooklyn as well.
And he played in Brooklyn for YMA, and our advanced scout Richard Belding has watched him play 6 games. The kid, apparently, again, this is hearsay, and he's also third to last pick on the team.
Right.
He could lock down shortstop, and he is one of those guys that comes to the field with a fan club.
Oh, man, he wants to play, and he's coming with some attitude.
Right, he's got that swag, as we love.
You better believe
But let's back it up a little bit. We have Svi Valinsky, big boy. He's also one of Cheer's boys. Louis Haber, you put him in right field.
Yeah, I think he might have to lock down right
Not
field
a big
here.
bat, but you know what?
He can play defense. Defense wins.
With Joe Cheer moving to short, they might need an outfielder over here. And then Harry Hidary, who was locked in together with Joe Chira.
I think he's catching.
He might be catching, and if he's catching and he does a good job, then everyone's happy. And then let's fast forward. We have Sammy Red Cohen, and to round it out, Michael
Red
Antar.
Cohen, some sneaky pop, and Michael Antar, a lefty with some pop.
So I know Greenberg was really happy about Sammy Red. He played with Sammy Red last year.
Right,
We know he's
3
dead
times.
pull hitter. Sorry to give with the scouting report.
But he hits the ball hard.
Sometimes
you could play the guy dead pull.
And Michael Antar, also one of those catchers, probably will be splitting time with
Harry
Hidary. So now we're at the point of the draft. We just spoke about every team in detail.
Now, like we said, it's a very deep draft.
There are a few storylines I want to get into quickly. Number one being Aaron Dweck. On the team that he was drafted on, I know he wasn't so thrilled from what I hear. I didn't speak to him directly.
I don't know if anybody's asking for trades, but hints might have been brought down.
Right.
This is a league of talent.
Right, it's a league of talent.
People aren't trading high talent for lesser talent.
Listen, he was taken to be their 4-hitter. If you're going to want to trade for him, you're going to have to pay for him.
That's right.
But if, on the same token, if you're going to want to trade him, you have to get for fair value back. It's just the way trades go.
Both ways, and everybody always feels like I'm losing a trade, and that's why trades very rarely happen in these leagues. Nobody wants to get had.
Storyline number one, I'm not going to get into details on that, but there is rumors swirling that Aaron Dweck, you should keep your suitcase packed. You might be on the move.
Okay,
number one. So listen. We have a veteran captain in the league, captain of the Buffalo Bills, Michael Melech Salomon, who's notorious for getting to the championship as a captain and not winning as a captain. He chose to slot Nemi Katz in the 10th round. Another player that was taken in that round was Mo Mike, as we alluded to earlier.
Right.
Michael Melech Salomon went on record and said, if Mo Mike ends the season with a regular season batting average better than Nemi Katz, he guarantees he's going to hang up the cleats and retire.
Now, this is something we are going to keep.
Yeah. It's going to be an ongoing theme over here. I spoke to Mo Mike. He's insulted. He said, chip on my shoulder. Nemi Katz, he said, I don't have anything to worry about. Much better.
I'll do it easily.
So this is going to be something we're going to be closely monitoring, and I'm taking it lightly. And listen, if you have to take a year off and retire, we're going to actually tell you got to do it.
Now, on the flip, let's stay on Norwood's team for a second. Norwood's may try to do something here that is really unprecedented in softball.
He mentioned it to us. By the way, that's another storyline over here. Norwood, as we see on the draft, he took 2 pitchers. Mark Cohen, David Fallis.
David Fallis is a strike thrower, has some heat.
Right.
But he's a strike thrower.
Right. He's not going to walk anybody.
Right. Looks at location and very athletic on the mound.
Right. And then we have Mark Cohen, who we know dominates at times, but he also loses at times.
Right. So, and he gets tired in game 2 often.
So here's what Isaac Norwood proposed. He said he's going to do it. I won't believe it till I see it.
I agree. To say them going 1 game and 1 game
maybe
wouldn't
split
shock
games,
me.
but you know what? Mark Cohen, I saw him in shul yesterday. He goes, if I'm not pitching, I'm not playing.
Yeah, okay.
But Mark likes to talk like that. But you know what? He said, I'm going to have David Fallis start, and I'm going to have Mark Cohen be my closer.
Now, what does he mean by closer?
I think
question.
4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 5th,
Right.
6th,
5th,
7th.
6th, 7th. So it's not crazy because you get a guy a chance to get into his groove. Maybe come out in the 4th inning. A lineup doesn't
But here's
see
the
him.
problem. When you have Mark Cohen, a lot of times he comes out inning 1 and he walks the first 2 guys.
Right, but he's going to have time to be prepared. Now, what he could do, David Fallis maybe starts, Mark goes 5th, 6th, 7th. Maybe Mark continues game 2, and you go with him till he starts getting really tired, and then Fallis comes back in.
You could put them both in the field at first base and keep on swapping them back
we don't
and
have
forth.
the ASA rule. If you want to sit a guy on the bench and put him back on the mound, it's also okay.
Right.
We're not opposed to that. So, yeah, that's something they could do as well. Just, they have to be ready fast because umpires do lose their patience, and it's something you got to be on the dime ready to do.
If you ask me my opinion, I think Fallis ends up being traded to a team that needs a pitcher. Whatever, we won't name the team.
Everybody has a pitcher, so I don't know, but let's find out. Now, that's another very interesting storyline. every pitcher is looking at the other pitcher saying he's taken before me. I was taken after him. That's the storyline in itself.
Right,
that we look at.
Especially with Maxi Deed falling like a rock.
Yeah.
So I know he has a super chip on his shoulder, and he's pissed off, and he's coming like a man on fire. We're at the point of this show where we're going to actually make our preseason predictions.
Unlike other shows, we don't like to pick who's going to be in the World Series.
We pick who's not going to be in the World Series.
We want to pick who's not going to be in the playoffs.
Correct. So the way our format is, there's 7 teams, 2 don't make it. So and we're going to have a wild card game. The 4 plays the 5, and 6 and 7 don't make the playoffs.
Now, we've been through this. We always say it clearly to make sure you have it. The goal is to get to the 3 seed.
Right, top 3 seeds.
I mean, you want to form who you're going to play. That's one thing. But you get the top 3 seeds. You avoid that crazy, wacko 9-inning wild card game.
Let's do this. Listen, I think the way the draft played out, the way players were drafted where they were, I don't think Natan's team is a playoff team.
Really?
Maybe I'm wrong. I picked against him last year and he made the playoffs. I was wrong last year.
Made it to the semifinals.
Right.
He won the wild card game with a lot of the same players.
Listen, I was wrong then, but I just don't see it. I don't think they have enough offense to do it.
Last year, Mark Cohen was pitching for them. The question is, their defense did get upgraded with DT,
right?
But balls put in play, hit hard, are also going to go up because Freddie Hittery, like we said,
he's a contact pitcher.
Pitches to contact. When Freddie is on his game, guys are lunging, hitting deep flies to the outfield, easy plays. But when guys are hitting the ball hard, the defense on the infield.
That's my first pick of not making the playoffs. Do you agree with that?
My first pick not making the playoffs. We'll just go back and you'll see at the end if I do. My first pick not picking the playoffs, not to make it, is rookie captain Joe Greenberg.
Wow.
Now, they have a very nice lineup. But I think when you go into a season with a question mark at shortstop,
but here's what you think.
Very scary.
Here's why I don't agree with you, because I do have a backup plan, contingency plan in Ayala.
Okay, and the backup plan is a rookie.
Okay, listen, I think they have too much talent not to make it. Think about it. Mocas, Chira, Billy, Greenberg. That's a sick lineup.
Summer of George. There was a team that...
But that's Mocas without these guys.
Right, there was a team that A.B. Cohen was on pitching, and they didn't have a shortstop. And they had Alley going from center to short every inning, not sure what to do, and they couldn't make it. I think now, if Ayal or Joe Chira, they have 2 guys that could prove me wrong. But if those 2 can't hold down shortstop, that's what I think
to be determined. I disagree. I think they have too much talent. I think they'll figure it out.
Team you missed?
So my other team, I don't think that's going to make the playoffs, are the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
Listen, there's something called a hangover, which we saw Michael Cohen play with in the World Series, and then there's a last season hangover, which they picked the same exact team, and they think they're all that. But you know what? There's a lot of rookies on this team. I don't see them having what it takes. Maybe you think Al Gamal's going to put them over the top. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think they play with a magic carpet ride feel, and I think that magic carpet ride came to a screeching halt in the World Series last year.
So I'll tell you what.
I don't agree. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
I'll tell you what. Before I say who I think's not going to make it now, I think Natan's team's going to make it.
Okay.
Natan's team, I think, is going to make it, and I think they're going to be a 3 seed. How about that?
That's a high praise.
Yeah, they're not going to be a 4 or 5. I think they're going to be a 3 seed with their defense. I think Natan, a year under his belt as captain, I think he sees what he did wrong. He has glue guys in the clubhouse.
Listen, I'm not saying not. They do have defense. They do have glue, but they don't have hitting.
I think I'm with you on this Bills team.
Wow, the Buffalo Bills wide right.
I think they're coming to the field thinking glot bite before thinking baseball.
They're thinking swimming. They're thinking swimming. They're thinking Atlantic City. They're
thinking let's have a good time and we're gonna find our way there. If we're down by 4 in the 5th, we're gonna do it.
They do have perennial MVP Michael Cohen.
Yeah,
they do have.
Cohen. I hear Michael may have gained a couple pounds.
They do have.
Sully may have gained a couple pounds.
Right. Listen, between the two, they probably gained about 40.
Okay.
And listen, either way, I just don't see it.
Albert Kamal, by the way, is not playing in another league right now.
Right. This is his only softball.
This is only softball. In his first night league go-around, he didn't have a great showing. I think he was on a little bit of a weak team. I think they're relying on him too much. So he doesn't even know where he's playing. Right. He might play short center, might play first. Isaac Gamal's a rookie going in.
So there you have it. We both agree the Buffalo Bills, wide right, are not making the playoffs.
They have the talent, but I just think they're somehow, some way going to have to put themselves together and not just come into the season feeling, we got it. We got it. So, you don't just got it.
And I say the Natan team doesn't make it. You disagree. And you say the Greenberg team doesn't make it.
And you don't agree with that.
Usually,
again,
listen.
People tell me, another thing I've been hearing, a lot of guys tell me, Max, I'm looking at my team from last year. We're better. You know what? You better be better.
Everyone's better.
Everybody's better.
We added a ton of first-round players, which moves everyone down a little bit.
And the talent in the late rounds went up, so you got to come to play.
Listen, where this league is thriving right now is in the draft from round 5 through 10.
Right.
You're getting not just value guys, you're getting difference makers.
Guys that can play. I agree that in other leagues there may be some early spots, but when you have depth and guys are missing, and a guy, God forbid, pulls his hamstring, and you have depth in a lineup.
Next man up on every single team.
Exactly. That's what wins games. Late in every league, that's what wins games.
Listen, usually we're not fortune tellers. We can't predict anything.
Usually we're dead wrong.
Usually you're better than me. I'm usually off on everything. So what was he? Actually, I'm pretty confident in my picking this year. So either way, good luck, everybody. The next time we speak, I don't even know when it'll be.
It could be a while. We have opening day is slated coming soon. Look alive for the schedule. It might be out within the next couple of days.
The schedule will be out soon.
Happy Shavuot.
Right, enjoy yourselves. Hopefully you get to enjoy this going into the holiday.
That's right. Enjoy it.
All right, boys. Have a good one. Looking forward to an amazing summer league.
Don't forget all you rookies and all you veterans that know. Every game in this night league is under the lights and is on camera for everybody to watch. So something you got to bear in mind, don't fold under those big lights. When you see those highlights, don't get scared. We'll see how you do.